What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle. Is that Latest Tea? Today, we are doing some VGC 2018 content because I'm honestly so burnt out of singles because you guys make it so unfun to play singles because, you know, WeedleTwineedle loves using fun, gimmicky teams. Time to bring the most try-hard team in my arsenal. That's what I feel like you guys are like. Honestly, that's what it feels like. And it's just like, why?
WeedleTwineedle, why don't you use try Pokemon on your team as well?
Oh yeah, when I do, my fanbase yells at me and spam dislikes the video. Lando T.
Dislike.
So yeah, we are using Lander's T today with the most cancerous strategy humanly possible. Except my opponent's team is trying to rival that. So which strategy will win? Cancer Minimize or Cancerous T? Find out more on today's episode of VGC 2018. Alright, so let's just hop directly into the first battle. My opponent's wearing the gay fuckboy Como outfit. It suits his team very, very nicely. As you can see, the gay Chansey wearing the gay Como outfit. The absolute classic. So I decided to lead off with my low Ninetales and my Golurk because I just felt like it, essentially. And this is how the strategy works. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you guys were able to see the strategy before I even use it in a battle, because I'm sure it's not too unknown what I'm about to use. So I'm gonna go for Protect, just because I want to, you know, protect my Golurk from any harm. As my opponent reveals to have Simple Beam on the Xatu, so I'm like, oh no, you already know what's about to come out. The Minimize of Verlisify is fapping in the background right now. The chance is going to get +4 evasion. And how will Shaniqua possibly combat a +4 evasion Chansey? Well, unfortunately for my opponent, he has a very, very bad matchup. Keep in mind, this person was 1750 on the battle spot ladder, and I'm like 1600, so the fact that I was matched with this person was very frightening. But I'm not gonna let this person snatch a W from Shaniqua. Not with, you know, brainless Minimize. But I guess, hey, I mean, climbing the battle spot ladder ain't easy, right? So now I'm gonna bring my Lander's T. Lander's T is brought out. Weedle actually used Lander's T. I never thought I'd see the day. But yeah, we're going to Intimidate. I thought that Magic Bounce would bounce back Intimidate, but I guess it doesn't quite work like that in doubles. I'm not too sure, but here I revealed the Sheer Cold. So we're going to freeze that Xatu. It's going to sacrifice its life to keep Chansey alive for an extra turn. Sheer Cold's going to OHKO the Xatu. It's down, that monster goes. And now my opponent's going to go for Calm Mind. So I can definitely see a Psych Up coming out from either the Sableye in the back or anything else on my opponent's team. So my opponent's going to set up a Calm Mind, get +2 in special attack and special defense. But since it's Chansey, it doesn't really matter what special attack set is since it's super low regardless. So now my opponent's going to bring in the Tapu Fini, and Tapu Fini can actually destroy me. I can destroy Lander's T for sure because I can just Ice Beam me or like Muddy Water me or Water EMZ me. So I'm going to go for Sheer Cold directly into Tapu Fini. No reason not to. I can't miss thanks to no guard, and my opponent's going to be unable to go for Psych Up. So we're going to OHKO Tapu Fini, down that monster goes, as now I'm able to go for Roleplay into my Alola Ninetales. So my Lander's Therian Form is able to, you know, snatch the no guard for itself. The only way to make Lander's Therian Form more broken besides giving it Roost is giving it no guard Fissure. So yes, if you like earning your victories and like to feel accomplished after winning battles, this team is the team just for you. So in comes Shiny Sableye.
Let's go!
My opponent's gonna go for Psych Up, and I'm just like, look, honey, I appreciate your efforts, but it's too late for you. I'm gonna go for Sheer Cold right into Chansey. That bitch is gonna drop, and down goes the Chansey. Gonna get OHKO'd, and basically the Sableye is going to get fissured and going to fall right into the ground between the cracks. And the Sableye is going to go down as well. So we're going to OHKO my opponent's team, and that's going to be the end of the battle against the Evasion Noob. How did he do it? Alright, my second opponent today happens to be carrying the very fair and balanced Copper Lily plus Mega Metagross combination we all know and love. She's also carrying a Zapdos and Incineroar, pretty big staples in the VGC format for sure. I expected my opponent to lead off with the Zapdos because Zapdos pretty much gets a free Tailwind against my whole team. There's not much that can really pressure the Zapdos, from team preview alone, so my opponent just leads off with the Incineroar plus Zapdos, which definitely makes sense because it pressures out my Ninetales. I decided to lead off with my Clefairy and my Landorus T, expecting the Zapdos to lead off. So you may be wondering why I led off with Clefairy if I'm expecting Zapdos to lead off. Like, wouldn't you want to lead off with your 2 ground types instead? Now that's what you would be thinking, but my Clefairy has a pretty special move that I'll be showing you guys on turn 1. So my opponent's going to Intimidate my Landorus T, which sucks for him because we're able to activate our Adrenaline Orb because we are not running Weakness Policy on this team. Because it turns out when you're running, mono Oko moves, you don't really need the stat boosts given from Weakness Policy. So we're going to Snatch, expecting my opponent to want to go for the Tailwind with Zapdos. My opponent's going to fake out my Landorus T. Good play. As my opponent does go for Tailwind, so we're able to snatch that shit away from Zapdos, meaning that Landorus T will be able to outspeed everything on my opponent's team pretty comfortably, unless my opponent's able to set up the Tailwind himself or herself. Here I'm going to switch out on my Clefairy and bring in my Golurk, expecting my opponent to want to go for the Tailwind again. And here I just go for roleplay directly into my Golurk slot because I know I'm going to switch into it so I can just get no guard on the next turn. And thanks to the Adrenaline Orb, there's not much on my opponent's team that could really outspeed me. My opponent is able to get the Tailwind off this turn. That play was actually really risky because my opponent could have went for the Hidden Power Ice into Landorus T, which you do find out these Zapdos does carry HP Ice. So that play was really risky, but I figured my opponent would want to go for the Tailwind just so that he can equalize, or she can equalize. I mean, it's a boy until proven otherwise, right? So until he can equalize, or so he could equalize the freaking speed control. Blah, sorry. I'm not good at narrating double battles because I'm not really too familiar with the double battling format, so it's kind of hard for me to keep up. So here the Zapdos is going to activate the Psychic Seed to increase its Spadef, as here I'm going to go for the Ally Switch just to save my Landorus T from the Hidden Power Ice because that will definitely knock me out. And here I'm going to Fissure the Incineroar slot as my opponent brings in Tapu Lele just for it to get, brought through the cracks. And the Landorus T is going to be able to Oko Tapu Lele. How does it feel, Tapu Lele getting Oko'd 2 VGC battles in a row? Like, oh, it feels so good. HP Ice is not going to be able to knock out my Golurk, surprisingly enough, though my Golurk is very bulky, so it's definitely understandable why I was able to live that. In comes the Incineroar going to Intimidate my Landorus T. That's fine because I'm not using any physical moves, I'm just using Oko moves, so me being intimidated has no impact on the game. So here I'm going to pull a Hard Switch into Clefairy just because I need to be able to redirect the Hidden Power Ices. I'm going to go for the Protect here just because I want to save myself from HP Ice. I can be faked out because we are not touching the ground with Landorus T, because Landorus T is a flying type, so I Protect just to play it safe. Unfortunately, our Tailwind's going to peter out, and I'm going to need to stall out 1 extra turn of Tailwind because my opponent has 1 turn of Tailwind above me. So here I'm going to go for the Follow Me because I know my opponent's going to be forced to go for Hidden Power Ice if he wants to knock out the Landorus T, which can Oko his whole team. I could have went for Gravity there with my Clefairy just because, I can Gravity so I can hit Zapdos with the Fissure. That's another mechanic I had on this Clefairy, but I decided just to target down the Incineroar because Incineroars don't really carry Protect very often. So now my opponent's Tailwind's going to peter out. So now I feel pretty safe fissuring my opponent's whole team with Landorus Therian form. But thanks to Follow Me, I really don't have to worry about Hidden Power Ice because as long as I have Follow Me, there's not much my opponent can do unless he's running like the safety goggles, I think they're called.
Oops.
But my opponent's going to go for Protect with the Metagross to protect himself from the Fissure. I go for Snatch here just on the off chance my opponent wants to go for the Tailwind instead of HP Ice, as my opponent's going to actually make the right call, going for Hidden Power Ice directly in the Landorus T. But thanks to Fredga, we're able to tank that really nicely, despite the fact we're quad weak to it. And from here, my opponent cannot go for Double Protect. Well, I mean, he can go for it if he wants to, but there's a 50% chance it'll fail. And I'm just going to go straight for Fissure into the Mega Metagross, as this bitch is just going to drop right through the ground. Down goes Mega Metagross, going to Oko that bitch, and down goes that monster. And now my opponent's going to be forced to go for Hidden Power Ice into Clefairy again. This is such an unfun strategy to play against, man. How did he do it? How did WeedleTwineedle manage to win these battles? He's so good. I know, you don't need to tell me twice. Now I'm going to bring in a low Ninetales here just because I can't really fissure the Zapdos, though I could have went for the Gravity, I guess, but I wanted to use both Ninetales and Landorus T in this fight, okay? Can you really blame me? Not really. So I'm going to go for Protect here with my Landorus T just because I don't want to die to HP Ice. My opponent is really trying to target down that Landorus T despite the fact that I go for Follow Me every turn. So unfortunate for my opponent, we have 2 users in here that can definitely KO these Zapdos. I just go straight for Rock Slide just to fish for a flinch, and I can't really hit the Zapdos right now because I only have Fissure and Rock Slide as my attacking moves, which is pretty unfortunate. Here I'm going to go straight for Roleplay into my own Landorus just so we can roleplay and get the No Guard just so the Zapdos has the least amount of fun humanly possible. My opponent's going to go straight for HP Ice into Landorus T yet again, and finally my opponent's able to take down Landorus T, but a little bit too late because we did KO 3 out of his 4 members, and now my low Ninetales outspeeds the Zapdos, and there's no way we can miss Sheer Cold because we trace No Guard, or we roleplayed No Guard. I'm so used to using Simply Gardevoir, I'm so used to saying trace. I'm gonna go for Sheer Cold here into the Zapdos. We're going to one-shot this bitch as well, and we earned another victory fair and square. Down goes the Zapdos, and that's going to be the end of the battle against Larissa. Alright, on my third and last opponent today actually has a really scary team for me to deal with because, you know, Charizard Y actually demolishes me, though it could be a Charizard X because Wolfly Glick is innovating the meta, but we'll see. I decided to bring Doublade this time around, even though I should have probably brought Doublade against the Lele Mega Metagross, but I decided not to because I'm really bad, and I thought he wouldn't bring the, you know, Lele plus Mega Metagross because of Doublade in the last battle, but hey, I misplayed. It didn't happen, so I decided to lead off with my low Ninetales and Doublade as my opponent leads off with Landorus, Therian Form, and Mega Charizard. So this is pretty scary for my team to deal with because Charizard can roast my team alive, and Landorus T can Earthquake my team alive, and there's not much I can do about it. So I lead off with Ninetales and Doublade, and my opponent's going to switch out of Landorus T in fear of Ice Beam / Blizzard. Definitely understandable. Going to bring in the Snorlax directly in against my low Ninetales and Doublade, as my opponent is Charizard Y. Not too surprising because Charizard Y is definitely the most common, you know, Charizard Mega out of the two. So Charizard Y is going to Mega Evolve, and unfortunately is going to get rid of my Hail for some Sunlight, but since my strategy doesn't revolve around Hail, it's not too big of a deal. I'm just going to go straight for Wide Guard because Doublade does carry Wide Guard. It's one of the main reasons why I'm carrying it on this team. And I'm hoping my opponent does carry Heat Wave, though I won't find out until after this turn. Going to go for the Z move directly into my Doublade. You guys should get the strategy by now. Not too difficult to understand, not too complicated. And I'm kind of surprised that more people have not used this strategy because, I mean, it's very gimmicky, of course, but let's be real, gimmicks is all I use. We're going to roleplay and get No Guard, as my opponent does end up going for the Heat Wave, and thanks to Wide Guard, we're able to protect ourselves. And that could have backfired really badly if he had like Flamethrower or went for Flamethrower / Fire Blast, but hey, I'm not complaining. But here I'm going to switch out of my Doublade and bring in Landorus Therian Form just because I want to intimidate the Snorlax so he can't return into a KO me, and I may as well just bring in Landorus T while I can because Charizard Y is going to be forced to protect here or we're just going to die. I do go for Sheer Hold if the Charizard Y does not decide to go for protect. So Charizard Y is going to get O-Code by the, you know, O-Code move, and we're going to outskill all over that Charizard Y. Down goes that big threat to my team as my opponent's going to go straight for Belly Drum with the Snorlax, trying to get some damage going with the +6 attack and the, you know, Figgy Berry I believe they run. I'm not too sure which berry they run. It doesn't really matter because they all do the same thing. But yeah, my opponent's going to heal off with his Ipapa Berry, I think it's pronounced. And now my opponent's going to bring in his own Landorus Therian Form yet again, just to intimidate down my Landorus Therian Form because that's how you beat Landorus T. You bring out your own Landorus T to, you know, HP Ice it to death and intimidate it to death, which is so dumb. But because of Intimidate, we're able to activate Adrenaline Orb, and I'm very glad I decided to give my Landorus T Adrenaline Orb because I was kind of iffy about that at first. But then I realized that how many people just spam Intimidate against Landorus T, so it actually works really well. I'm gonna go for Roleplay into my Ninetales here because I need to get No Guard, and I may as well, right? And I'm just gonna go, you know, my opponent does reveal to have HP Ice, of course. It is Landorus T, it's gonna carry HP Ice. Thankfully, we're able to live that surprisingly enough. As my opponent does decide to go for a return, we're able to protect ourselves thanks to a low Ninetales is protect. And I do have the No Guard now, so I can just go for Sheer Cold directly into the Landorus T. And this shit's gonna get overkill because not only is it quad weak to ice, it's also an O-Code move, so it kind of like permanently killed that Landorus T there. And now I'm gonna go for Fissure, and Snorlax is gonna go right in between the cracks. And yeah, Snorlax is gonna get O-Code as well. And yeah, that's gonna be the end of Snorlax. And yeah, my opponent's last mon is gonna be Tapu Fini. And unfortunately for Tapu Fini, both Landorus T and Little Ninetales outspeed. And yes, we're just gonna O-Code the Tapu Fini to death. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Sheer Cold, and the Tapu Fini is gonna go down. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of these battles. I didn't want to showcase too many battles with this team because let's be real, this team isn't too impressive, and it's just really, really stupid how you're able to roleplay No Guard and be able to spam O-Code moves. Like, I don't know why Game Freak allowed that to be a thing, but it is. So it could definitely be taken advantage of in the VGC battle spot ladder because there's no Smogon Smogon Oko claws or Sleek claws, because my Ninetales also carried Hypnosis, even though I never used it because there's no reason to, and you can just sheer cold stuff and Oko them. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this VGC content, because it was pretty fun to have these battles. I actually won 5 battles in a row with this team, and I mean, like, I can see why, because Oko moves don't really have much counterplay besides like preventing the no guard to be role played in the first place. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy these Wi-Fi battles against these poor battle spot people. These poor battle spot victims. They were not ready for the memes. If you guys enjoyed these battle spot battles and want to support my channel, I would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button, as it really helps on my channel a lot more than you think, and it's always appreciated. Anyways, the question of the day is going to be, which VGC strategy do you think is the most evil to play and use in the VGC format in general? Let me know in the comments down below which Pokemon or group of Pokemon you think are the most evil to face against and the most anti-fun to play against in VGC, in your personal opinion, because I'm pretty curious to see how you feel about the VGC format at the moment, because I personally know it's not fun, it's not balanced at all, but neither is any single formats at the moment, besides maybe PU, but no one plays PU, so eh. But yeah, my personal thought about VGC is it's very broken. It's very, very broken. But it's still pretty fun to play for, you know, casually, because I'm not playing competitively, despite the fact I'm nearly 1700s at this point. But which is pretty impressive for my standards, because I can barely pass like 1600 on a good day. So me going 1700 with this team was definitely not too surprising, because, you know, it's Oko move spam, so it's to be expected. But I thought more people would be prepared for this kind of thing, but I guess not. I guess not. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below which Pokemon strategy in VGC is the most unfun and evil to play against, and why. But that's going to be the question of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching till the end of the video. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.